All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Epic Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, today we've got a photographer, a videographer, a musician, a media and content specialist. So he started up several different ventures, most recently in video production. So welcome to the show, Li Weijian, or as you can see, it's Bob Lee. So how do we address you, sir?
I think Bob is good. Bob is something that I think everyone is. I mean, my peers are familiar with. So yeah, Bob works well.
Okay, so Bob, last time I remember we go way back, but in terms of business, right? You were previously doing photography. You started that out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're into media production. I mean, would you be able to tell us a little bit more about what happened along the way? Why you decided to change?
I guess when I started photography, it was really a passion business, something that I started because I like to do it. I have an interest in it, and it was fun. It was fun doing that. But I think as we grow, as we build the business, I think I realized that there are many things that is not within our control. So like we see a lot of competitors and all coming in. I mean, not say competitors, I call them peers rather. They're coming in, and we notice that for us to stay competitive, to stay ahead of the game, so to speak, it's not easy. And I think first and foremost, as photographers, we need to acknowledge that the lifespan of this business, how long we can do it, has a timeline has a limit to it. So rather than trying to tank this photography thing through, I thought, why not let's just explore what are the different options that I have. So I think pivoting from photography, it was quite straightforward to go into videography and right now like touching on podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that was how it happened. It was just basically like a progression of the business. Yeah.
So I would reckon that you face a lot of fear, I think, making that transition, especially during this period, right, whereby COVID hit, businesses were definitely hit. I mean, on-site photography was just virtually impossible, right? Because they didn't allow people the social distancing and things like that. So how did you tie this through, knowing that you've got family, kids and all this? I mean, what did you have to do to get everybody prepared for a move like this?
I guess COVID-19 it is a wake-up call for many of us in this industry, when we realize that how dependent we are on certain circumstances and scenarios in order for us to operate our business. We need crowds. We need a lot of people together in spaces, and events to run. So I think the first thing that went away, that went away from my business was events photography, and it was quite a wake up call. So when you look at the realities of life, you have bills to pay, you have kids to raise, school fees, your car and your home. You realize that, it's not something that you could just, let's just wait it out and hope that things turn for the better, because we do not know. We do not know when the vaccine will be around, when we can resume normalcy. Now we are looking at the new normal, and I think it is here to stay for quite a while. So transiting was was a necessary thing that I had to do. So I kind of fell back onto my other skill set. So I think way back when before I was in the bank, I was working in a design agency. So I was doing a bunch of web stuff, design stuff, and even media stuff. So in this day and age, online communication is very important. It is a necessary means of communication right now. So really, it's just falling back to what I used to do and building a business from there. And I think it's quite fortunate that I had this idea of switching over actually since about last year or the year before. And then I was doing a bit of groundworks and reaching out to some of my clients and offering this service, on the side. So COVID-19 was the big break that this business needed to be thrown forth into the spotlight right now.
Right.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. I mean, it's helping the business, helping helping to pay the bills.
Right. That's good. That's good to know. At least you are able to pivot. I'm sure that you've heard quite a number of other situations and friends, I think,
Yep.
who
Yep.
within the circle as well. We're just like, we're trying to find new jobs. We're trying to get business from all of this.
Yep.
Now, you've been able to, you didn't necessarily have to reinvent yourself, but more importantly, right, you took what you already knew and you moved it.
Yep.
You moved forward with that. But do you also find areas, right, of what you're doing, what you learned in your past business, on your previous business? Because I'm assuming that Flashbob Photography is officially closed. Or is it on hiatus?
It is. We're still using the brand right now for our businesses, for our projects, but we're in the pipeline of having it switch over. But just a bit slow on that.
Okay. I mean, on your end, right? What are your plans to actually grow the business at this point in time? I mean, let alone just, I know we're looking at survival.
Yep.
But what steps do you need to take before you go, okay, now, regardless of the situation, we've made enough money to feed the family. Now it's time to open up, set up jobs. I need assistance. I need this. I need more equipment. What's the next step for you?
I think like what we learned in the army, we need to appreciate the situation. Have a bit of do a bit of assessment of what the future economy is going to be like, what it is going to depend on, and from there we see what we have on hand that we can use to meet the needs of our clients, for example, of the demands of the people out there. So I think right now it is my plans for the future. I think first we need to assess what we have, and what we can offer, and we need to assess what the new economy demands, what the new normal is about, and what they need and what we can provide for them. I think with that in mind, I think for me is to create a business that is more online, a business that is more on digital communication, something that has a longer runway than, for example, just, taking event photos, or things that require a lot of, I guess, you need to be personally there, and,
Right.
you need to do a job that's physically demanding. I mean, right now I can do it, but when you think about the future, with age, and with all the newcomers joining the industry, it is not something that is something. No, it's not something that is sustainable. You can do it now, but let's say when I'm in my 40s, in my 50s, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to keep up with the younger folks running after, our things to shoot. So I guess something more future proof is needed. So that I think this is where all the content comes in, all the video comes in, where digital works comes in.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, just I think right now I'm pretty much in a exploring phase as well. Also looking at certain digital projects that I could take for the new normal ahead.
Right. And how have you been using social media at this point in time to promote this change?
I guess I think people are too fixated about jacking up social media.
No TikTok challenges for you.
Yeah, no. People are like, I must be the first mover. I must push my social media on all fronts. I must go all out and whack the social media. Frankly speaking, I don't really whack my social media a lot. I mean, I do post, I do share stuff on social media, But I feel that we should come to realize that the consumers have reached a certain level of maturity in their consumption. You know, they don't just, wow, because you promote this item, I must buy this item. People understand that there are paid ads, there are sponsored posts, you know, that they are, you know, all this staging is just, you know, for show and it's not authentic. So I mean, right now, even people are talking about authentic communications, authentic content, you know, on social media. Yeah, and I think deep down, I should believe that engagement is very much one-to-one. I believe in having a deep connection with, you know, on a one-to-one basis rather than a shallow connection with, you know, a whole bunch of people. So social media allows us that shallow communication. That you know, I just put post, everyone comment and like and just pass it off. But let's say if I want to use social media, in fact I use social media to do like DMs. You know, I just chat with my friends. You know, I haven't seen you in a while, so we just chat on private messages. I think yes. I think that to me, if you ask me how I use my social media, yes, I do that kind of, you know, engagement, the kind of outreach. It allows me to just connect with people. I think that is how I use social media for myself. Yeah, not so much for the business. My IG account for my business is like dead.
At least you
Yeah.
have an IG account. I don't even have one.
Yeah.
I'm so behind the times. All I do is just like Facebook and stuff. That's about it. At least you're
Facebook,
on IG, dude.
Okay, but Facebook, I gave up on it. It's like
Yeah,
too much effort, man.
Hey, man, tell you, look. If you want to be famous, you can't use Facebook anymore. Let's put it that way.
Oh
Behind
man,
the times.
why? I want to set up a public profile page, man.
Hey, you'll be very surprised. You know, the weird thing about when it comes to social media, and right now, everybody's moving on with IG stories and TikTok compared to Facebook. Facebook is becoming like a LinkedIn kind of thing now. It's becoming more of a professional page compared to way back then when you could still super poke and, you know,
Yeah. That's right.
I poke you, you poke me. It's evolved so much more into now becoming a Facebook marketplace whereby events side, right? Like say all the flea markets, they actually have groups that they put it out there saying that there's a flea market here. Who wants to participate? So as long as you're part of that group, you keep getting those updates. So Facebook is becoming that, whereas LinkedIn is more of industry news, and Instagram would be really on a micro influencer level to that extent, whereby you have a very curated set of followers. And at the end of the day, I could be wrong. I'm not a marketing guy, right? So they themselves also they know their own audience. It gives them a bit more feedback in that area. But at the same time, right, I still think that, like what you mentioned, it's very shallow engagement, whereby you just see it 15, 30 seconds and then boom, I'm off to the next one already. It's not something that's long. The days of long form are very niched. You know, like what we actually want to do is to continue to just keep talking to people and engage. And this platform is just about sharing stories, right? From you know, the small companies to the solo companies, all the way, if we can, you know, eventually to the larger companies. But we'll see how that goes. You know, I mean, one day we might just be able to talk to someone from Sony. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Fantastic.
I mean, you never know. But
looking forward, man.
I hope so. But in the meantime, it's all about, you know, especially times like these, you know, you've been able to pivot and you've been able to show that it's possible to do so. You know, some people have gone into frozen food businesses during this time. But I realize that quite a number of people are trying to jump onto the bandwagon. You know, frozen foods, delivery, just directly home cooking, home businesses. You know, and even reselling masks and sewing their own. You know, very entrepreneurial, and I think that's a great time to start. But on your end, right, doing all of this pivoting must have taken a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, you know, sapping out of you. How did you manage that with your family time at home? This is the tough question.
I think when you're hungry, no matter how tiring it is, you will still find food.
True, you're right.
So, I mean, as much as it is not easy, it took a bit of effort, research, a lot of groundwork. But when you need it, it's not a want. It is a need. Pivoting is a need. It's not a want. You will commit the resources and time to make it happen. And of course, at the same time, because for me, family is very important. I believe that as parents we should be present for our kids. When they are young. Preschool. So that we can develop that trust, that relationship. That when, let's say, when our kids go on to primary school, or when they become teens, they have this relationship with you. With us, the parents, that they can count on when they're faced with questions that schools don't have answers for, or when they need that kind of moral or the kind of emotional support. And this is where we say, hey, we have established that relationship. You can count on me to see you through. So I think it's very important to always have the family component. So I just give up on everything else, socializing and fun things. I hardly watch TV, and I cut on my sleep. So yeah, I guess that's how I manage things around.
Right. And out of all of this, right, are you imparting this wisdom to your kids?
Lack of sleep? No. I want them to
No. Wisdom. These lessons that you're learning,
Yes.
hard
Yes,
work,
yeah.
ethics, what are the key principles? Like for me, I always teach I repeat the same thing to my son, respect your elders, hard work, and
Yep.
be an upright man. Have integrity and be honest. Everything else will take care of itself after that.
Yep.
So what are those principles for you that you're teaching your kids from moving from business to business and just life in general?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try. I think that is something that something that the society don't really teach us. They kind of let's say you studied this, you're studying to be an accountant. Yeah, and then you're just so focused. Like they ask you from young, what do you want to be? And then and you're so set on a particular career track, and then you just study around it, and you just live and build your life, your career around it. And the reality is, life, I feel that we live life in phases. We work in phases. Like personally, I don't believe I'm going to be a photographer for the rest of my life. For example, I was in a digital agency. I was in a design creative agency. I didn't believe that I'm going to be a designer for the rest of my life. When I joined the bank, I didn't believe that I'm going to be a banker for the rest of my life. And when I right now move on to photography, it's like, no, I don't think we should be here for the rest of our life, because the thing is, our work don't define us. It is. I think work is just something that sustains us, something that gives us this sense of purpose and sense of adventure. That allow us to try and just to learn new things and explore and really live life. Life isn't meant to be going through the motion. I think life is meant to be explored and to really enjoy it. So I guess that is something that I feel it is important, that I do not want my kids to I got to stick to this. I don't dare to try. I shouldn't try. No, I think be courageous. Try, of course, within a certain framework of morality and wisdom, safety in place. So yeah.
Oh, very insightful. Then what about okay, so that's what you want to teach your kids. At the same time, right, what is your own personal vision, something that you are looking toward, and it's always been your guiding principle, apart from not being afraid, what you're teaching your kids?
You give me some examples.
No, for example, right,
yeah,
a personal vision in that sense is that you've aspired, that you see yourself as, do you see yourself as you want to be the number one dad, or do you see yourself as, I want to be the top 50 photographers in the world, or am I supposed to, where does your heart lie? Because I always had this question. Like, say, for example, right, what I'm not an entrepreneur. I have the spirit, but I don't have the willpower. Okay. So in other words, right, I've got the ideas, but I'm too damn lazy to do it. Okay.
Right.
So it's always been that question of, if we could do it mathematically, is it 70% passion and 30% smarts? Or does it need to be 100% passion and 200% hard work? You see, because passion doesn't pay the bills, hard work
Yeah, it
does,
doesn't.
right?
Yeah.
So like what you said, your photography business was a passion project mainly, and that kind of skews the mindset where you go, it's okay, I'll do it. And then you go, yeah, but every day I eat cai peng, I also a bit sian eh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't eat $2.50, $3 stuff anymore. Wonton Min at $2 is long gone. Chicken rice at $2
Yeah.
is long gone. You can't do that
Yeah.
anymore, right? Plus, you have another how many mouths to feed as well.
Yep.
Scary, right? It's more of that mindset. Like, what drives you so hard? That goes, okay, this is what I want to be. Do you have that personal vision in front of you? Because there's no way that you could go so far as to go, I'll just live day by day and expect to succeed. It's impossible.
Yeah. I know YOLO is overrated. People are like, yeah, so it's all fluff,
Right.
But that is a fact.
Yoga really only lasts 1 month, right? YOLO.
Shit. Okay, that one. Yeah. No, we really only live once. And I think, okay, maybe I just share with you one of the personal motivation that I have.
Yes, please do.
Or life lesson. Actually it's from my late brother. Because he was 20 when he got involved in an accident and passed away. And I mean, he completed his diploma. He was about to enlist, and then after that he will go into the workforce. So he was already prepped. He was prime, and he was ready to just go out and explore and live his life. But an accident happened, and the life took a change, and it ended for him. I think it made me realize that actually life is really fragile, and sometimes we talk about retirement. It's going to be, when I finally retire, I will live my life, I'll travel the world. But in reality is, how many of us have that kind of energy that we have in our middle age, when we are 30s. Right now we're energetic. We can think about all this fantastic exploration. I'm going to go to Iceland and stuff like that. When I retired, I travel the world. But in reality, is when you're 60s and 70s, when you're really retired, we don't have the energy.
Too late.
And I'm pretty sure we may not have the zest of life we have, when we are younger.
Right.
So I think with that as a context, to how I frame my thoughts, it allows me to consciously live every day, to appreciate every day, at the same time to make every day count. So be it in terms of family, in terms of my career, my business. I think it's not so much about achieving this fantastic goal up ahead. I think it's good to have a guide, an idea of what you want to do one day. But I think we shouldn't hinge our life and aspirations entirely on it. I think when we are so focused on the end goal, the destination, we lose focus on the journey. And every day is a blessing. Every day is something that we can appreciate and look forward to. So for example, to me, is as busy as I may be, dinner time is a time I drop everything just to spend time with my family, talk to my kids, and and I have given up on gatherings in evenings, so that I can put my daughter to sleep every night. So evening gatherings are usually out for me, unless you want to wait for me to come after my father duty. So
hey, that's fine,
I
man.
guess
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So I guess that is the so-called the goal.
Right.
We only live once thing that guides me and sets me on my own journey right now.
Interesting. Yeah. So just to share a story with you. Based on what you're saying, just a simple anecdote as well. No, again, I've always remembered this story from one of the books that I've read. I read very few books, so I can only
Three Little Pigs.
yeah. So the first pig, right? Anyway, basically there was this question, right, to somebody. It says, "Hey, what's the meaning of life? Can you explain to me, wise man? What's the meaning of life?" Essentially, the wise man just told him, "Okay, take the spoon, all right, fill it up with water. All right, so make sure that it's got water to the brim. Now I want you to walk around the market square. All right, walk all the way to the market square and come back without
All right.
dropping a single drop of water." Okay,
Yep.
so he did that and he came back. See, wise man, I didn't spill anything. Wise man tells him, so what did you see along the way?
Oh, wow.
I didn't. So that's the meaning of life. You keep focused on your goal, but don't forget to enjoy the sights along the way.
Nice.
So this is I mean, I've simplified the entire story, but
All right.
Essentially that's what it means. Keep focused on what this is exactly what you're saying. You know what you need to do. At the same time, you're just still enjoying the little things in life as you go along the way. Throughout your journey when you come back. So I think that's wonderful to hear. I also have another question for you, which is, do you have a mentor who's been guiding you, teaching you, giving you advice?
I don't have mentors, but I have role models.
Yes.
I guess. I think having people that you look up to, people who consciously share their doctrine, with the public, maybe on social media and stuff like that.
Chan Chun Sing,
No lah. I don't play this kind of card here. No. I think okay. So like for mindfulness matter, I think and when we talk about mentor, we just don't just have a mentor for business, or a role model for business, a guide for business. We can have a guide, a role model for just about anything in life. So and I think to be fixated on just business is being very narrow-minded and not being aware of that everything actually comes to play. Everything the business is just part of living life, of the whole spectrum of being alive, of finding purpose, of finding meaning. So I think like I listened to Lito Labs. It's a fantastic podcast on life, and really the message of mindfulness, the message of really living in the moment. Yeah, I think they share a lot of that for me, and maybe in terms of business, I follow like Benjamin Lowe. It's like an SA boy, our junior, but he's like, wow, like this public speaker, and it's like damn successful. And he shares a lot of nuggets of wisdom on Instagram, and I follow him closely. So I mean, these are just some examples of people I follow. And of course, my own personal friends, some of the business owners. I mean, it's really nice of them to make time for me, and we'll meet up and they'll share with me their journeys, and they even offer me suggestions on how I can pivot and how I can move. So for example, the digital journey, it was actually inspired by my army friends, I think Alex, and Ray, both of them, they inspired me to pursue on this digital journey. And it is really taking shape, and really, if they didn't see that idea, I don't think I'll be here right now. So yeah.
Cool. All right. So if that's the case, right, then one more thing is, I know it's a little bit far down the line if I were to ask you this, but at what point, right, do you feel that, okay, my business, right, it's time to give back to society, whether or not it's on social enterprises or it's just basically doing your CSR. When do you start thinking about that?
Actually, it is something that I feel that it is not an afterthought. I feel that, giving back is something that we are actively pursuing. So I think with that being said, because right now, I have been supporting some Christian organizations with my video works, and I did some photo project for another church. So I think giving back is something that that gives us purpose. Like I was sharing, that our life is a life well lived. Is we need to have purpose. It needs to make us feel fulfilled rather than just giving us material gains. And I think giving back to society is something that gives us that purpose and meaning in life, that makes our journey more meaningful. So besides those video and those photo project, right now, because right now I'm trying to focus more on content. We are in discussion with my team. We're just planning some content to help social enterprises communicate, help them reach out and raise awareness, and not just raise awareness, but I feel that the communications of social enterprise has been misaligned. People look at social enterprises as they are incomplete. They are looking for handouts from organizations to give them money, to give them pity. They need looking for charitable acts. No, social enterprises are actually proper businesses. They have they deliver solid solutions. And I think that it is something that we need to raise awareness. They are not waiting for handouts. For social enterprises that build their business around, handouts, pity, all kinds of support me because, I'm helping, all these poor people, all these helpless people. No, these kind of businesses do not sustain well. So I'm just blanket statement. I do not know whether they sustain well or not. But I feel that having worked with some of the social enterprises, I think that we want to communicate, the kind of value that they really bring, and really there are many social enterprises out there that have fantastic content, they have fantastic works, the goods and services are top notch. And because the label of social enterprise, people are like, we're doing a charitable act by supporting them. We want to change all that. We want to help them speak their message. Yeah, so this is what we are working on right now. So hopefully, maybe by next year we can start churning out or not next year, maybe by this year, and we can start churning more content for all these enterprises.
That would be wonderful. But what are the avenues that you're looking into, like to be able to get connected to all these guys and all that, like your channels, marketing channels?
As in connect with the social enterprises. Because I have a lot of friends who are running social enterprises, so it's really through my own personal contact. Even my neighbor runs this art gallery and art empowerment art workshops for people who I think with autism, to empower them with skills and work. So yeah, I think okay, like I told you, my connection, my social media. No, it's shits, man. I go the old school way. I find my friends. Daniel Yao, the Science E fella.
Yes. He
runs social spaces. So I mean that he himself is also is running a social enterprise. So
right.
So I think I have enough. I know I have enough contacts for all these space, all these enterprises. And I think right now it's really just for me to get down and just get the works going.
Right. Okay. And okay. So thanks so much for sharing your story, and I still think that there's one thing that I haven't addressed yet with you, which was what were the tougher things that you've really been through, the ups and downs in your business journey since day one?
Okay. There was this since you asked, I think that there are turning points in our lives, that I wouldn't say scar us forever, but they leave a tangible mark, leave us something to look back on and ground us, and keep us hungry. So for me, it would be so there was I think one of the businesses that I used to run, Nick's Modeling. It was with two other partners. I remember it was after the event, and then I had to drive home. I got to leave the venue, so I borrowed my dad's car and I drove down, took some photos, and when I wanted to leave the venue, I realized that ew, the cash card doesn't have enough cash. And I thought, all right, I'll just top it up. And I went on to the ATM machine. And I went on to the cash card machine, the terminal, to top up my cash card. I realized that my ATM card has no money, has not enough. I don't even have the minimum $10, to top it up.
And this is before Pay Now, Pay Lah.
Yeah.
Before
Before all that.
Before internet banking.
Yeah. Internet banking, no lah. iBanking was around, but yeah. So I mean, I tried to reach out to people to transfer me cash, and I couldn't find anybody at the point of time. So I think it was really quite and it was quite a sad realization that as I pursue my business, I realized that I was like left with nothing. Like it is sobering, and you feel helpless. And at that point of time, there was this middle-aged man, this uncle behind me. He was waiting to top up his own cash card. So I turned around and I asked him if he could top up my cash card for me. I gave him whatever I have. I think it was about like $4-5 in my pocket, coins and dollars. And then I just asked him if you could just help me top up $10. And this uncle, he told me, I think something in Chinese, 年轻人, something like, 我了解, whatever I'm going through, this journey, and he just top up my cash card for me. Wow. to tide me through. And then it was then I realized that I think to realize that that how desperate you are, when you start begging people for money, it is very sobering. It's like an awakening. You realize that we cannot just that running a business is not a walk in the park. That we need to make sacrifices, and there are times that put us down, that make us question ourselves. So then I told myself, I never want to beg for money again. So yeah, and but I always look back to this moment in time, not just to remember about how broke I was, but it is to remember about paying forward, about this charitable act that one person can do and change other people's life. If I can meet this uncle again, I would definitely want to thank him, maybe buy him a meal or something, and tell him how much his simple act has, impacted me and changed my life. So yeah, I think that is one moment in life, that I never want to forget, because it is so important. It's a lesson in life that I learned.
Right. So these are one of those foundational moments that you will keep so close to you.
Yes.
Because it creates character. It builds your character. It is those key moments, right, that build or at least create who you are today. And that's amazing, because the more people that I speak with, doing this podcast, I hear more and more stories like this, which are amazing. And so it's very common, you see. Interestingly enough, there's it's sad to say, but there are so many other there's so much negativity out there that it tends to get lost, or it gets drowned out, so the realization that you had was amazing, because you're keeping that close to you. And I just hope that whoever's listening will be able to think through and also be aware that such things could have already happened to you, if not will happen, because I'm sure that everybody will have something like this eventually. And that's a very, very powerful thing, So thanks for sharing that. And moving on to probably one of the more interesting segments that I still enjoy very much is this questionnaire that I do at the end of the show, right? It's just a very rapid fire thing, simple thing. Just relax. It's cool. It's cool.
Sure.
So okay, this is that segment. All right. One word that you love the most.
Camera.
Camera.
Oh no. Hey, okay. The word love.
Love. Okay. Why? Why love?
I think love, because I rely on my passion that brought me to where I am today. And I think passion is that you love what you do. Once you love what you do, you never have to feel tired or lethargic about what you do. And I think love covers all. I think love is it's a very powerful emotions that makes things happen, that drives people, that motivates people, and make us be bigger than who we are.
One word that you dislike the most?
Cannot.
Very powerful. And again, okay, earlier on you mentioned about some of the role models that you had. Who are your heroes in life? I mean, let's not go into family, but more of, let's say, for example, other inspirational figures that you've seen that you would like to meet.
I would like to meet.
Yeah, like say, for example, some people say, oh, I want Anthony Robbins, or I want not Tim Cook, but Steve Jobs, So who would you like? Who do you say that is one of your inspirational? Okay, let's do this again. Who are the inspirational figures in your life that you would like to meet?
I mean, I can give you a
fictional or non-fictional, religious or non-religious?
Politically correct answer, like I want to meet Michelle Obama because she's all about women empowerment. I mean, I actually paid money, a few $100 just to listen to her talk. I mean, by right, that should be the answer. But I feel that I do not have that kind of aspirations, I must meet this person also. I think when we have that kind of aspirations, it meant that we feel that our life is incomplete. We feel that there's more to it. We feel that I got to meet this person, so this person will continue to inspire me to be even better. I think if there's one person that I really want to meet, if I could frame it, I think it's I want to know who I really am, to know myself, to know the inner works and mechanics and motivations to just really be contented. I think to have this figure out there it speaks a lot about our psyche, our motivations. I feel we are actually so much more as individuals. We have so much stories to tell, and we shouldn't despise ourselves that I got to meet this person. No, the most important conversation that you should have is the one with yourself. How you speak to yourself, how you motivate yourself, because you're listening to yourself every day. So I think for us to better understand ourselves is more important than for us to go understand and Tony Robbins, right? That's the ice cream or something. Yeah. No, to yeah, you get my drift. You really should just I personally, I feel that I don't really have this figure out there that I really want to meet. Yeah.
All right. From Tony Robbins to Baskin Robbins, right? What's your favorite dish and place to eat?
I love chicken rice. I like to eat the chicken rice in my neighborhood in Telok Blangah.
Telok Blangah chicken rice. So good, man.
I'm easily contented, bro. And I don't I must eat buntongki. No lah. I think I like to eat something from a place I'm familiar, from someone who knows my preferences, and I think and the communication that we have, engagement. How is that kind of stuff. It is food is not just what we put in our mouth. It's the whole process of buying, engaging, and experiencing it. Yeah, I know it sounds so fluffs. Yeah, this Bob.
And slightly erotic as well for some reason. Okay, if you couldn't be a photographer, what would you be doing?
I would be a property agent.
Property agent.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I would like to try sales, and I just go around talking and I'm not trying to simplify the job, but I think it is something that I am quite interested to just how does it feel like to be a property agent? How does it feel like to sell properties and change people's life, because people are literally going to live their life differently for those who are buying their homes.
Why don't you go talk to Shen Li? I don't know if you know him, Shen Li. Amos.
I got. Oh yeah. Hey, Amos. Hey, coffee with Amos, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was chatting with him recently, because
Property what?
you're selling a property close by, a
Mm.
4-room flat, and I was like, oh, hey, close by, because I like my estate a lot. I'm really contented with my estate, so I thought, hey, this is because I'm staying in a 3-room right now, so having a 4-room flat be like, oh, an upgrade, since we like to have more space, financially we are more stable, so why not, just upgrade and move around here. But but HDB flats here, like, it is 800K, 900K. My neighbor is selling for $1 million, so it's like, shucks, man. It's not cheap around here.
Yeah, property is tough in Singapore. We're gonna end up like Hong
Yeah.
Kong already. Smaller flats, more and more expensive.
Yep.
Getting there already. Anyway, yeah. I mean, if that's the case, maybe I should have a chat with him. Have one of those
Yeah.
day in the life of a property agent or insurance agent.
Yeah, you should. And then I'll
Managed
tune
plan.
in. I say, oh, so life is like that. Not bad. Hey, I
Yeah.
like that whole talk show. I like that whole traveling around Singapore, exploring new corners.
Yeah, but
it's
that's the
fun.
sales talk lah. I mean, sorry, that's the sales
Yeah.
talk lah. But the sales pitch, but the actual fact is that the money is damn good lah.
Oh, yeah, bro, of course, man.
Yeah.
One
seriously.
transaction is like.
Yeah, correct. But okay, I mean, but again, if it's just about the money, they could have done any other job. But why property?
Yeah.
I think that's the question. So okay, I guess I'll get in touch with Amos and see whether we
you
do
should.
an episode.
You should.
Okay, next thing. What does retirement look like to you?
Retirement shouldn't be different from what we are doing today.
Which is?
I mean, if you are taking photos today, you should be taking photos when you're retired. If you are engaging with people today, you should be engaging with people when you're retired. So the concept of retirement to me is it shouldn't be an alternative life. It shouldn't be like a utopia that we imagine, because like I said, it won't be what I feel like it won't be what we make it out to be. But I feel that if you are living consciously every day, if you are making an effort to be contented, if you're pursuing what you're passionate about, to me, I don't want to retire from what I'm doing right now. I don't want to stop talking, stop creating content. I don't want to stop doing what I like. I think it's something that is something I see myself. I was taking photos before I started a photography business. And I mean, and as I pivot the business, I'm still taking photos. And, I still have ideas of, wow, I mean, it is something that I like. And I think it's something that I want to explore, even let's say, when things are more stable, it's something that I want to revisit, maybe in a different medium or different format or different setup. So, but yeah, it will never really leave, it will never really depart from our life if we really like it. So retirement is not something, far ahead. I think right now what I'm doing right now, I can call this a fusion life, work and retirement sort of shit lah. So
So you're saying you're semi-retired?
I like to imagine to be so, but yeah, I no. Okay, I'm not trying to be too fake about it, but I think yeah, this is what I hope to do when I'm old. It's like I'll meet my friends at night. We'll like go to supper and stuff like that. I have time. I spend a lot of time with my kids right now. Before school, after school. I make an effort to like date my wife during the day, in between projects, in between work. So the life I'm having right now is like what I would expect myself to do. I don't expect myself to do when I retire. I'm just going to watch TV all day. I mean, I don't watch TV now. I'm not going to watch TV in the future. The kind of mindset. I mean, okay, maybe I'll watch some interesting Netflix in the future lah. But I mean, it's not something that I will actively seek out, because I think when you're contented with what you're doing, you want to keep doing all the way until you are not able to. So yeah, so retirement it shouldn't be a far-fetched utopia. It should be something that we are actively seeking to do right now. I mean, this is my opinion for retirement.
Nice. And lastly, right, how do you want to be remembered? What's your legacy like?
I just want my daughters to remember me to be the kind of father that they'll be proud of.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Woo!
That doesn't mean anything coming from me. I'm proud of you. All right. So
Thanks,
thank you
bro.
very much for joining me for the Epic Podcast, Edric Poon and Company. Thanks again to Liu
Thank you.
Weijian. All right.
Thank you.
Again, can anybody follow your Instagram or your Twitter handle or your business? Anything you want to just shout out?
Maybe can follow my public Instagram profile, boblee.sg. Yeah. So I mean, that is where I share about what I feel passionately about, like in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of the passion business. I think people have certain ideals about it, and I try to address them in my Instagram, or at least in that channel that I feel, I could do some sharing over there. So yeah, if you want, you can follow me there. Yeah.
All right. So follow boblee.sg on Instagram. All right. All right. Thank you very much. And we are out.
Woohoo!